Mary.
Oh my god!
Brandon?
Wait, Timmy!
Is that you?
Hey!
How have you been?
Good, good. How are you?
Good. What have you been up to?
Well, I'm at the courthouse. I just had to go to like one of my attorney's offices.
You followed your dreams? You're a lawyer now?
Yes, I'm a lawyer.
No way.
Oh my god, yeah. I just got my ASC degree at Valencia. I went to law school. And
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Alright. I actually am about to interview one of the lawyers on my own TV show. I do documentaries. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so
You
cool.
want to get interviewed by me?
No way.
Alright. How about tomorrow for lunch, right?
Alright, that's it. Alright, I'll see you then.
See you.
Alright. Hi.
How are you? So good to see you again.
Good, yes.
So to start off, I just want to let you know it's awesome that you're following your dreams, because I remember in SLS in Valencia, you were kind of skeptical about it.
Yeah, I was. But I mean, now, after taking the class, like, I don't know if you remember, but my purpose was to help others and like do good around with other people. So there's many ways to do that. But then I realized that like going into law, it was something that I really enjoyed and really wanted to do. So I'm really glad I got into that.
That's great that you're doing something that you really love.
Thank you.
All right, so I wrote down some questions for you.
Oh, okay.
So what makes you think that you would be a good lawyer?
Well, what I think is really good is that you have the strengths and characteristics to become a good lawyer. And personally for me, my strengths were communication, restorative, positivity, and strategic. And I think those are really core characteristics to have to become a lawyer. So having those characteristics and strengths, that's what I've been using throughout my years in law school and everything. So now I feel like I'm a successful lawyer.
That's great how you brought purpose to your life and enjoy what you do. My next question is, I think everyone wants to know what the steps of this career are.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to get to this point as a lawyer?
Well, to first start, there's different fields that you go into law. There's not just one specific one. Like you can go into international, you can go into business. But for me personally, I'm in criminal prosecuting attorney. So that's different depending on what you're getting into. But the steps are kind of the same for different places. But I think what you first should know is like what I do. So what I do is I look over criminal records and go over police reports. I meet with witnesses and victims. And I gather those information to present in court to go against the accused defendant. So, yeah.
So what are some of the other skills that you use as an attorney?
Well, the different like workshop skills that people should have to become an attorney is you should be enthusiastic about your work. You should have good communication. You should have a good work ethic, and you should plan efficiently and have a positive attitude and the knowledge to become a good lawyer. Yeah.
So going back to the steps with those skills in mind,
Mm-hmm.
what does it require to get to this point in your career?
Well, you have to go start as an undergraduate student, and then after your 4 years and get your major, you go and attend law school. And then after that, you have to take the examination, which is the LSAT. And then after you pass the LSAT, you get your Juris Doctor degree, and then you pass the bar exam, where the bar exam identifies that you're a licensed attorney to work in that state. So,
Okay, so earlier in your career, did you take any internships?
Oh yeah, I think it's very important that you should take up internships. And for me, I personally took the Office of Attorney General internship and volunteer program in Tallahassee,
Wow.
where I worked in the Capitol, and I was able to just go over experience and knowledge in legal, law enforcement, victim services, criminal justice as a law student. So that was really good experience to have, and it also is really good to have on your resume. So then when you work as after like graduating from law school, you have those experiences to have.
So how was that internship, and how did it affect you later on?
Well, having it made me realize that what I specifically wanted to do and what I wanted to work for. So after having that internship, I realized that this is just something I wanted to do specifically in criminal law and not just in the other ones. So I'm glad I took that up, and it was really small too. It was just doing 20 hours a week. I gained all that knowledge and experience to work up too. So yeah.
Now, during your career as a lawyer, did you have any interviews like this one leading up to this that helped you make decisions?
Yeah, I talked to different people. worked with different people just to get more knowledge on like what I'm going into, like what I can like look forward to like doing in that specific field. So I spoke specifically to my friend's father, who wasn't necessarily in criminal law, but he was a lawyer, and yeah, I was just talking to him, and like some of the advice he gave me was the fact that it's a lot of time management and it's a lot of work. So I took that into experience when I was going into law school and saw that it is true. And I took that and managed my time, set up my priorities, and here I am now.
All right, so last question I want to ask is, what academic pathway did you take to get here?
Well, personally for me, you know, we started at Valencia,
Of course,
so
yeah.
I got my AS degree at Valencia, where then I transferred to FSU and got my bachelor's degree and major in political science and legal studies.
Impressive.
And then I advanced over and took the LSAT, passed the LSAT, and then went over to law school and got my JD degree. And then after getting my JD degree, I took part in like part-time clerkships to get more experience. And that's when I did like internships, like the general office attorney in the Capitol. And then I did, I took the Florida bar exam. And then after a couple times, passed the bar exam. And then now I'm a licensed attorney.
Wow, that's very impressive. But it just seems like that's a lot of steps. Do you think it was all worth it?
Oh yeah, of course. Again, like I say, like you should really, it's everything reflects upon your purpose and your interests, your values and goals. So my academic program relates a lot to my values by having positivity, and then having that goal to help people was really worth it at the end. And that's why I think this going into being a lawyer was the best possible thing for me to do.
Well, with all this great education, there obviously has to be a big financial burden.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy. Especially, I think it's not easy for anyone going into like such a big career, like either medical, business, or anything. Money is like a big part of wanting to get that education. So for me, like it was very expensive. So what I did to cover it up a little bit of it was I did different scholarships. And then the rest I did grants and loans to help me get there, because at Florida State University, the 4-year undergraduate years, it was already $18,000, and it's a lot. And then that was in state, and then after that, going into law school was $20,000, $643.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money, and it all adds up, especially with like all the other things included, like housing and food and everything like that. You really learn to like budget your stuff, either like going through like making an app or writing down, making sure what you're spending, what you shouldn't be spending, because all that expenses really does add up. So yeah, but it was all worth it for my education.
Well, I'm glad everything worked out for you, and it's great that you started your foundation at Valencia. When I last saw you, how did those resources help you?
Well, at Valencia, specifically at the East Campus, I use the library a lot. I remember going to the library all the time and using the computer labs, always doing some research and doing work there. So that really did help me, and those are the great resources I have used over there. So yeah.
Well, I'm definitely glad I ran into you, and
Yeah.
I'm glad SLS was so great for you.
Thank you. Yeah. So no problem. It was glad that I was able to like you see like how I am now 10 years from that SLS class. So I'm glad that we're both in doing what we love based on our purpose. So
Thanks for the interview.
yeah, no problem.